What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Vibe Theory. I'm your girl, Beezy.
I'm your girl, L-Boogie.
All right, everybody. So we're coming at you. My girl, L-Boogie, she had the absolute pleasure, and I am completely 100% jelly. My girl had the opportunity to see none other than the Mrs. The President, Jill Scott, in concert
Absolutely.
with Moonchild
Yes.
opening up for them. And if you've been following us, you know we previously in past episodes we talked about both of their albums, both Moon Waves and To Whom It May Concern. And so we knew that both of these albums would take off. And as always, these two artists are phenomenal. And so if you've ever had the opportunity of seeing them in concert, you know what it's like. You know what the experience is. And if you have not had the opportunity to see them in concert, check them out. It would be a disservice if you did not.
Great.
And why am I jelly? Because I have not had the pleasure of seeing Moonchild in concert, and I am absolutely 100% jelly. And if Boogie wasn't my girl, we wouldn't be doing this show because I'd be giving her the middle finger, saying screw
She would have given me the, the meat
and
bug right
my
by
feet
now.
feet.
The
And
meat
my feet
bug.
feet. But no, Boogie's my girl. But no, I mean, honestly, Boogie, I want you to share, your experience. But what this episode is going to be about is just really talking about the concert, but also going into what the state of music is today. As we've been talking about, as we've even started this episode, these episodes, and why we started this podcast in the first place. It's just our love for music and really where is it going? Where is it going? Because we have a rich history in music, starting way back when, even before slavery times, music is what brought us together. And so we want to really talk about that. And so Boogie, I'm going to leave you the stage, even though I don't even know if I won't listen. I should probably step off, just be mad. But you know what? Tell us about your experience. And first, please share your experience about Moonchild, what that experience was like, and then go into Jill. And so
Oh,
the floor is yours.
all
So
right. Thank you.
so come
I
off
don't
that
even know
high
where to
for a
begin.
minute.
Yes. Because I've been floating, guys. I've been vibrating like this. So first and foremost, Moonchild, shout outs to this group, this phenomenal group. Again, we are witnessing something as far as artistry, musicianship. This is just what I say, a group that has, oh God, it's just like poetry emotion. Again, Amber's soft whispered voice gives credence to the depths and the melodic tones, the organ, the keyboard, the drummer. Oh my God, let me give Trip. That's his name, Trip. Okay. The Trip the
Yeah.
drummer. That drummer, man, he was nice on the bass. He was nice on the hi-hats. And it just kept it real soulful, had this soulful neo-soul vibe, jazzy, smoky. I mean, just think of yourself in a lounge at this high-end hotel, just sitting back or even in the comforts of your own home, just with your headphones rocking out to this piece on vinyl. I mean, and she does not miss a beat. I mean, her whisper voice is just smooth and velvety over the notes. Moonchild is something for everyone to see. Again, if you're a lover of great bands,
Yeah.
great musicians, great artistry, whether it's, sonic, melodic, Moonchild has everything. They have you covered.
Yes.
And I didn't know she was pregnant, but congrats, Amber. Oh my goodness. So, I mean, and then she gets out here, she's playing the flute, man, and then she's picking
Yeah.
the sax. Man, when I tell you this group is multifaceted,
Yeah.
we are truly witnessing a Renaissance era. And again, it's like, if you guys are not paying homage to just great artists that have a keen sense of craftsmanship, as far as to their artistry, you're missing out. You're really missing out. I mean, it's one thing to have a studio artist or you groove into someone and you're like, oh, wow, it would be great to see them live. And then you get there and the experience is not even measured to what you saw or
Yeah.
what you heard on the album. We can't say that about Moonchild. What you hear on the
Is what you
album
get.
is what you get. And
Love
even
it.
more. Even more. Even more. So you can tell that this is not a studio artist. No one's being coached. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
This girl has pipes. And man, shouts out to Amber and the team. I mean, this group was fantastic. That was my very first time seeing Moonchild, and it will definitely not be my last. I will
Love it.
definitely follow this band. If you guys are not hip to them, please, again, if your first time is being introduced to them is with Moonwaves, go back and get their previous albums.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
you will uncover some great gems. This boy, man, it's just
Yeah.
fantastic.
Nah.
Fantastic.
I'm telling you. I mean, when I was first introduced to Moonchild, it was I can't even remember the name of the album, but it was The List.
Mhm.
And it was just like, dude, who is this? And I just kept,
Right.
pulling out more stuff. And so I just fell in love with Moonchild. And, they were at the time when I was living in Augusta, they were supposed to come. And I was just like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh. And
Right.
then it didn't happen. I'm like, what the hell?
Absolutely.
And,
And you remember, they were supposed to open for Jill. This
and
was
that was
right
when the
before COVID.
pandemic. Yep.
During the pandemic.
And so, and it was just like, man. And then, this concert, I heard they're joining her,
Uh-huh.
not even anywhere in Phoenix, and I'm just like, man, so it's like, okay, do I take the chance? Do I try to go somewhere to see him? And hearing
Right.
you is like, it's worth it.
It is. It's definitely your worth your money. I'm telling you, this particular tour makes me really want to go and follow her in other cities. For the
Yeah.
simple fact, I don't know if it's just Atlanta's magic, but again, Jill Scott was putting down and we were picking up what she was putting down. If like the old folks say in the 70s.
Well, it's Atlanta magic. I mean, it's Atlanta magic.
And again, we got to talk about the fact that there's no cameras, there's no cell phones.
Mhm.
She's locking up the phones, guys. When, you have to put these things, your phones, your devices in a pouch, you're
Yep.
not receiving it. So again, setting that preset that, hey, I am going to minister to you and you're going to digest what I am putting out to you,
Mhm.
again, is setting the stage for us to be synonymous together. We're going to be in sync.
And
Back and
honestly,
forth.
I love that. I love that because a lot of artists now have started doing that. My first interaction with it was here actually in Phoenix.
Okay.
And so I was like,
What concert was that?
well, it wasn't a concert. It was actually a comedy show, Wanda Sykes. And she did that. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I even had to give up my Apple Watch, which I was just
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah, no tech, none. But but at the same time, I get it because how often do you see people, with their phones up so
Mm,
much? And I see the negative and I see the positive with it,
mhm.
because with social media, that gets, it puts them out there. It's free advertising.
That's
So I get it from that standpoint, but
mhm.
here's the caveat to it. If you are an established, well-known artist, you don't need it.
You don't need it.
And so I get it. And so kudos to Jill with not wanting people to have their cell phones. Put the phone down.
Put the phone
I'm
down.
right here. Just
I want
enjoy
you to
the
connect.
experience.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It's about the spiritual transformation. It was
Yeah.
literally, she is spewing her heart, her passion,
Yeah.
her artistry to you, and you're
Yeah.
receiving it. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what we felt leaving that auditorium. It was a connection. And
Yeah.
again, I keep going back to, this is where music has to go. Not where
Yeah.
it's going, but it has to go there in order for it to stay a viable tool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I 100% agree with you because, I mean, especially with this being her first studio album in
So,
how many years?
was it 12,
So
15, something like that?
yeah, it's something like that. I forget how many years that it's been, but you know, with it being that amount of time with her not doing a studio album, like I said, I get it because, and especially in light, and not getting political or especially with what's going on in the news right now.
Mhm,
In light of everything that's going on now,
mhm,
she wanted that message to be heard and
mhm,
received.
and it was
And if you have that screen in your face, you're going to miss it
exactly.
because, and so she was preaching to you. From what it sounds like, from what you're saying, she was
And
preaching.
she mentioned that. She want to be a preacher. I'm not a preacher, but again, it was just put on her heart to say it.
Hmm.
So again, it's up to you though, because she said it. Also, she admitted some of you may not pick up what I'm putting down, or you may not. It may go completely over your head. But the ones that are tapped in and tuned in, they're going to receive this message, and it's going to
Yep.
hit you accordingly. And again, if we go back to Moonchild, Voyager is the album that I discovered them.
That's it. Yep.
And
Voyager.
again, from the album cover, and I think we discussed this too about the album cover artwork. Guys, it means a lot.
Yeah.
This looks like rays of sun. It reminds you of something that
Yes.
Earth, Wind, and Fire may have done,
Yep.
you know? So again, another thing, you got to tap in. Again, sonically cosmic. It felt like you were on a cosmic trip with these groups. And the artists were able to share that with you on just an intimate level. And I
Yeah.
think with Jill, the way, and she even said it, she even mentioned it. She's like, I'm giving you guys true musicians here.
Yeah.
That's what I'm bringing to the table. And again, her emphasis on the true musicians and the way that she went through all of her band members and just, man, she has some background singers called the Freeman. Dope.
Oh, I've heard of them. I've heard of them. Yes.
This is the point where I was like, how am I going to remember the names? I ain't got no phone to write my name in paper. I don't even have old tech.
Dang. No old tech, no new tech. My brain ain't working.
Dude, it was crazy. I was like, my God, where did she find these guys? And again, a good friend of mine's, we were talking about it earlier today, and we said the same thing. She put them through the straits of, okay, you can sing, but can you sing?
Oh yeah.
Because literally, she
Got to
went
be.
through originals trying to get these background singers. And she's meticulous. That's what I'm saying. The whole tour, the whole show was completely curated. It was carefully curated. It was so meticulous in the way that she infused old with new and how things resonated. How we even got introduced to who is Jill Scott. She brought, when she did He Loves Me. Man, boom. The visuals on point, the visuals that she used to tell you, I stand on the shoulders of great artists that paved the way for me. The fact that this woman is paying homage to Baldwin Beeze. Baldwin, Toni Morrison, Maya Angelou, Nina Simone. The list goes on. And the visuals, just to see that. So it was so much the sensory. You literally had sensory overload. If you allowed it to give you that sensory overload. Because it was so much going on the stage. And then her coming out looking regal as she always do and adorning the different crowns. We can talk about that. We
And
can
so
talk about that.
and you hit something that was very important. Curated. It wasn't just a show.
No,
She put on a masterpiece for you.
it was.
She
She
gave
painted the
you
concept
a
right there in front of you.
exactly. She gave you an art installation
Yes.
from what it sounds like.
Yes.
An art installation,
Yes.
and hence the name, to whom it may
They
concern.
concern.
Going back to what you said, some of you may get left behind.
Mhm.
And
Not
she
all is
put
going to go with
emphasis
us.
on that name, to whom it may concern. Because here's the thing, not everybody's going to catch on to that message. Not everybody is listening to to the message
Right.
and seeing and paying attention to what's going on around us.
Absolutely. I mean,
And so
so many different things, man. I mean, she did Ashe and just
Jill does that. Jill pulls your heartstrings.
she pulls your heart.
When she's
She makes
on
you
it,
think.
yeah.
She plays with your heart. It's almost like she literally brought that entire album alive.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do.
It can be.
Because
It can be.
some people will actually make make a studio live album, a live
Mhm.
production of an album. She didn't do
Mhm.
that. She did it in reverse. She produced the album. And now she's
Mhm.
bringing you a live instrumentation of that, a live representation of the album. Almost.
Yeah.
She brought it
Yeah.
completely to life, and it was unmatched. Again, the preacher scene, dude.
Ooh, okay. You hyping me. I may have to go Vegas. I may have
Literally,
to Vegas.
literally, I will not kid you, dude. I'm telling you, this woman got me looking like, where's she gonna be at next? And where can I get my
Look,
ticket? Because I need to go
that may have to just be a quick go and come back
and
trip
come
to
back.
go and see her. So, man,
It's
I
worth it.
mean,
It's worth it. The symbolic gestures that were made throughout this
man,
entire piece was literally like I was walking through a museum. She took me there. The prohibition, it was like she went through every area
love that.
where we showed up as far as artistry. She took us through the 1920s, prohibition. She takes us to the speakeasy.
Nice.
Rainy.
Yes. Well, remember, we talked about that in, when we reviewed,
Right.
To Whom It May Concern, because she really just brought it with this album. I mean, whatever was on her soul,
Mm-hmm.
she brought it. And she went through the decades in this album because, she went back to, past, paying homage to those who came before us.
Right.
So, so the fact that she brought this on stage and from what it sounds like did well with representing this album on stage. I mean,
No.
it's definitely worth seeing
It's a phenomenon.
and experiencing, not just seeing, but experiencing. Because again, as you said, curated, and giving you a art installation, a walk through a living museum of
Exactly.
music. And so here's my question to you, and it's probably going to be one of the hardest questions right now for you because you're still on that high.
I'm vibrating like no other.
What was your favorite song from the performance?
Must say, the preacher one.
Mm.
And yeah, that one. Because again, the artistry, just
Mm.
the visuals that were used behind her as she is projecting onto us.
Okay.
And she asked the question, you can either be the pimp or the hoe. You can't be both.
Yeah, yeah. And that's one of my favorites on that album because, I mean, the fact that she went there,
She went there, Beeze.
the fact that she went there, because, how enriched the Black community is in religion. And so the
Spirituality.
fact that in spirituality, the fact that she went there with that song, I mean, I think that in itself became one of my faves because, I mean, for both of us, you remember growing up, all of the evangelists,
This is Jimmy Baker,
yep,
him and Tammy Faye Baker.
Yep, send in your
Reverend
money
Ike.
if you want a prayer.
Reverend Ike was on some
Exactly.
other stuff. Reverend Ike was actually deep. They knew that. They knew that some of the stuff that he was saying,
Mhm.
somebody's gonna pick up exactly what that means. And so again, Reverend Ike is a different situation. So I won't even lump him in there. I won't even lump him in there.
Yeah, but I mean, but and so we and coming from the South, and deaf especially,
Oh yeah.
so we saw it, and so to hear this song and to understand its meaning, because I mean, depending on where you are in your spirituality, where you're from, this song hits differently.
It does.
It hits
I think that's what I
differently.
liked about it, the rawness,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
it can take different aspects. It depends on who, again, just like art, it is to whom it may concern. It's how you perceive it when
Yeah.
you look at the art
Yeah.
installation. Boy, this thing, God, but we said this during the review of it, really, truthfully, carefully curated the selection of songs, and then the way that she interwove the old with the new. He Loves Me,
Mhm.
Long Walk,
Yeah.
back to some of the things that she was constantly, what was the one about pressure?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
pressure.
it's pressure. Yeah.
Girl, literally just not wasn't ready. I knew I had seen Jill. This would make my fifth time seeing Jill live.
Mhm.
And each time it's always been something different. I knew this was going to be different, but I didn't know how. And I think that
Yeah.
to itself is just masterful. Because again, how many times you go see a certain artist, you already know they're going to sing this selection of songs. If they have a new
Mhm.
project, they probably going to spend most of the time singing
Yeah.
some from the new album, and
Yeah.
with a sprinkling of some of the old. But again, the
Mhm.
way that she thoughtfully curated the interwoven of the art, the old and the new, when we were introduced to her to now where she is, and then again
Mhm.
taking that hiatus and then coming back. I've said that before when we were reviewing the album. It felt like she had to take that break to stew, to sit back and observe where music was going, where it's
Mm.
been since she's been away.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to tell you what I am seeing and reflect it back onto you to make you think about where would you like to go
Mm.
with music? Where would you like for music to carry you? Because again,
Okay.
she carried us through the different decades, the different genres of music, and how we were at the cusp of all of these transitions as music played out through history.
Yeah. So now you just hit on something there. Okay. And of recent, NDRE came out
Yes.
with stating that black music is ruining the black community. And you hit on something where Jill took a step back, looking to see where music is going.
Mhm.
And so that's going to be my question for you. With seeing what you just saw and
Mhm.
experience, where do you think music is going? I know we've echoed that there's a renaissance, but we also know that there's other genres out there. We've got rap, we've got hip hop, we've got punk, we've got so many others. So where do you see the state of black music
I see it as
going?
evolving. It's evolving into something that you're not going to no longer be able to call it black music anymore. It's going to be just is music. And I guess I keep going back to music is just is because
Mhm.
we're seeing now where, and I think, again, I'm going to go back to Jill purposely doing this and just showing you that we are everywhere. We're
Mhm.
not just one thing. We are not a
That's right.
monolith. So I feel like music it's going to evolve, and it's just going to be great music. Music that
Mhm.
touches the soul, music that moves the spirit and the
Mhm.
soul, that can move minds.
Mhm.
I feel like it's going to be telepathic. I really do believe that music is going to be something cosmic. You're going to
Okay.
see that because you're going to see that and we already see it. We already see how these
Mhm.
younger generations are taking music, and it's morphing into something where you like, wow, this person just fused rock with grunge with house. And you're like,
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
but you love it. So
Yeah.
again, the molting pot of the fluidity of music, where we can go with it, is amazing. I'm for it because I love music. Music has always been my escape.
Yeah.
It's been
Same.
it's been my mentor. She has been that best friend that you talk to,
Yep.
that listens to you. Because again, we're doing call and response, whether we know it or not. You can listen to a piece and it can tell you to do something, and you will react and you will respond in whatever way it puts you. But
Yeah.
again, I think music can take you places. It can allow you to dream. It can allow you to aspire to be whomever.
Yeah.
And I really am hopeful for where music can take us. But what I want to know is, do you believe that the fact that we are seeing now some of the, and I won't say they're older artists, I want to say there are artists, our peers, they're our age group that may have made their mark as being whomever in neo soul and soul, R&B, hip hop / R&B, whatever you want to call that particular categorization of the type of music that they've done. But we're seeing now where they're coming back to the forefront and putting out new projects. So my question to you, do you feel like the younger generation is taking heed to what they are doing? And are they going to either mimic, or are they going to take what they are now being introduced? Because to some of these kids, this is their first time being introduced to a Jill Scott with this album.
Yeah.
Not who is Jill Scott.
Yeah.
She first came into the city, into the
Into the music scene. Yeah.
right.
You know, that's a great question. It's a loaded question. But I do think that younger artists are, one, listening, and I think they are learning from the past artists. Because, I always love the mantra, but again, it's cliche, is that you don't know where you're going until you know where you come from. And so we have to take a moment to look back at the past, learning from past artists. And we do see that in different genres of music, where you have those who've learned from Janet, you have those who have learned from Luther, from Michael, and from Prince, and the list goes on. And so, and so you have young artists who are listening to Jill and who are learning from Jill. I mean, you have artists now who you hear those little sparks and you're just like, okay, I see what you're putting down. And so do I think they're learning? Do I think they're listening? Absolutely. I honestly 100% do. They're making it their own, and and as it should be. They should make it their own, because you can't duplicate something that's already been done.
Right.
It's a epic album for a reason. It's a legend for a reason. You can't duplicate that. You're not going to be able to duplicate a Quincy Jones. You're not going to be able to duplicate a Michael. And so I love what the younger generation is doing. They're making it their own, and they're having fun. And so then that leads me back to my question of, do you think Indy Iree has a point
She does.
with where music is going? So okay, so then elaborate for me then.
Because, and I think what she's trying to say in a certain point is about the vibrational. We as a people, you said it earlier in today's conversation, with so much is going on. And again, we don't want to make it political, but we have to be in now. We have to be in where we are in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And to speak on where we are as a people, a collective, as the human race. We can only go but for so far with the same things, as far as before you're doing the same thing over and over again, and it's like you're in a rut.
Mm-hmm.
That's low vibration. In order to change your perspective on something, you have to do something different. So you have to do something out of the norm to lift you out of that rut. You know what I'm saying? So again, what she's talking about is we've moved so far, but then sometimes it looks like we just standing still.
Yeah.
We've come so far, but it looks like we haven't gone 2 paces, or we're going 2 paces back. So when you're looking at the art form, as to it's 2026, and this is very low vibration. There's certain songs that you're hearing that are getting mainstream attention. Yes, and to a certain degree, that is hurting our community. It does not impact our community of good. And that's all that she's trying to say. We should be more farther advanced to where we want to be as a people. And then there's not to say that this, because some people may like that song, or they may like that type of music. Let them. Because again, everything ain't for everyone. You know? And you're going to have that. And we've had that type. We've had that type of music or things that one person may like over another, right? We're not all going to like the same things. Again, we're not a monolith. Everyone don't do and think the same way. But
Mhm.
again, with the music, I think for what she's trying to say is that we still have to be mindful as to where we want to go as a race of people
Okay. Okay.
as a
Okay.
bigger scope of the,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Because music is sound waves, and it has the capability to move you and to enter your spirit.
Mhm.
We casting spells out here, you know? So is it,
And I get you.
what side
I
you want to
mean,
be on?
and I get you. I mean, this is probably part of where I will disagree with NBIRE, because, in reference, the one song, I can't even think of the name of it right now.
The one that she was talking about?
Yeah, yeah,
Spin that.
yeah. Thank you. Listening to it, even though even though it's not the type of music that I gravitate to, I've listened to it, because I want to circulate myself around everything.
Right. Exactly.
That's what I want to do. Whether it's something that's on my list or not. And hearing the song because I try to listen to the words. And one of the things I'm like, first off, listening to the beat, I'm like, okay, it's catchy. And it's played in my head. So I'm just like, okay, okay. And going beyond what the I'm going to say generic or stereotypical message of it is.
Okay.
One of the things I will say is that and the guy Vic, he made a very good point and he used this song as reference.
Okay.
And this is where he said, how many times do we glorify men who, are drug dealers, who are making money in the wrong way, and people will praise them and lift them up saying, make that money, make that money.
Mhm.
And so now let's look at it from the female perspective. And so this is where you have female artists who are taking back that power.
Mhm.
And however they're taking back that power, they are taking back that power and they are owning it. Because just as there's different types of music, there's different types of people. Now, mind you, everybody everybody ain't your kinfolk.
Mhm.
Everybody
Right.
you ain't hanging
So
with.
yes,
You
exactly.
may not be hanging with Pookie and Tay Tay
All skin
too, but
folk and kin.
sometimes
Right.
that's
Exactly.
true. And Pookie and Tay Tay, hey, we may not be hanging out with each other, but down the road, there are some things that we've listened to and we're connected in some type of way.
Mhm.
And that's music that connects us.
Mhm.
And so I say all of that to say is that yes, there's music that glorifies things that we may not be happy about
Proud of. Right.
and proud of. However, we also have to remember that there are people out there who listen to that, they know that life. And so I'm not going to say that it's damaging the black community, but it's giving them representation. Whether it's good or bad, it's still giving them representation. And so because regardless of what community it is, whether it's black, Latino, white, Asian, there's always a dark side and there's always a light side. And so that's kind of where I'm going to say, I don't think music like that is going to damage us because let's be honest. I mean, let's really be honest and talk about that elephant in the room. There's always been music like that. Even if
It
we go
has.
back further, into the 20s, the 30s, there's always been music like that. But there's more good than there is music like this. And so that's where I'm going to say it's the good that's going to keep us from fall. So that's kind of my take.
Okay. So I have something to add to that. And I hear
Yeah.
what you're saying, and I
Yeah.
agree. But this is where I think we're in a different time, though. We're in a different age where now I think that the powers that be know that these things
Yeah.
can damage us because they have seen it. They have the receipts. So
Yeah.
again, if we think about what we're letting into popular belief,
Yeah.
and I think, like you said, we've always had an alternative style of music.
Yeah.
We know that. But if you
Mhm.
don't, I think back then we had guardrails. If we don't have those guardrails today, and I really do believe we are accepting and normalizing, and this is where I go back. Things that you know that is not good for you, you turn around and you normalize it. And you can make that as a
Mhm.
blanket statement as to where we are in this nation today. Because we
Mm.
normalize bad behavior. And now you
Mm.
can't get rid of it. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because now you're bringing that to the forefront.
Mhm.
And now we're saying this is acceptable
Mhm.
because we're making it popular. That's
Mm.
what pop
Okay.
music is about. What's popular. So
Mhm.
now what that does, that suppresses the good because now you're not cool. You're not cool if you ain't talking about shoot 'em
Yeah.
up, bang, bang, shoot you and I'll wet you.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody want to hear that clean rap. No, man. We want gangsta. You see what I'm saying?
I get you.
If
I
you
get you.
constantly, it's yin and yang.
It
It's
is
about a
yin and yang.
balance. It's
There
about a
is a
balance.
balance. But also, here's what I would also say to that. Isn't it also about growth? Because
True.
let's think back. Let's think back to when we were young.
Mm-hmm.
Let's think back to when we were young. We were listening to Luke and Two Live Crew. We were listening to NWA. We were listening to artists who we probably had no business listening to.
Right. So
And
we were
we've
listening to
grown.
that.
Yep,
We've
and
grown.
we've grown. So that's what I'm going to say, and that's why I lead back to the young artists now. They're growing, and even to the listening artists, they're growing. They
That's
may be
true.
listening to, they may be listening to ratchetness, but they're also going to grow.
Beezy, here's the difference though between what you just said. When we were coming up, we had to sneak and listen to Two Live Crew because either your older uncle or your older aunts had those tapes. That wasn't what
Mhm.
we were listening to when we listened to the radio as a family and we going down the street, going to go shopping on Saturday, on the weekends. But because now, that's what I talk about, because now
Yeah,
this is the norm. They are listening to ratchets first thing in the morning when they open their eyes. So where do you get the goodness coming in or things or music that stimulates your mental?
I feel
That's what
you.
I'm talking about. If you don't
I
have that
feel
proper
you.
balance,
I feel you,
one is
and I
going
do.
to dissipate and the other is going
Yeah,
to send. That's
I
what I'm
feel
talking
you.
about.
I
And
feel
I
you.
think that's what she was talking about. That can ruin our community as a whole, as Black
I
people.
feel you.
I
I
mean,
feel
think
you.
about it. All of these things, it's just been slowly been chipping away with things that you can rewire. And music is the one thing that can wire, it can program and reprogram you
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be
it can.
whomever you want to be.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is that powerful. It is that magical. So I think that
Music is that
honestly,
powerful.
we have to be careful with, that's why I always go back to visual. It
Mhm.
being seen. You have to be seen. If you're not being seen, guess what? You're not represented. Everyone is different, but
Yeah,
there has to be a balance of things.
yeah. I feel you. I feel
That's
you.
just the world order. It has to be a balance. Right now, I feel like we're elevating this stuff where,
Mhm.
and I'm not gonna say is bad because everything is art, but
Mhm.
this particular art over this art, and I think there's no balance.
Okay.
It has to
Okay.
be a balance because you could be a person who likes that when you want to turn up, but then you
Mhm.
also can understand the complexity behind Giant Steps or, the complexity behind Freddie Hubbard or Tribe Called Quest when he
Mhm.
talking about, Bonita Applebum.
Mhm.
So you can understand it, but you're still listening to Roddy Rich. Again, you see what I'm saying? It's just, it's a balance. You can't be 100% on this rock, all the time, and you don't have the balance. Is music heals the gentle soul. It will relax you. It will put you. It's like stimulus. Somebody who drinks brown, but they know that white
Mhm.
lightning really get them where they fighting. Brown might color good, might mellow them out. But if they constantly are drinking white lightning and they don't never get no brown, guess what? That joker gonna always be like this. It's gotta be a balance, dude. You gotta take a chill pill. Relax yourself. Release.
I
Relax.
feel you. I
Release.
feel you.
There's a time,
And
place for everything.
and you're absolutely right. I mean, there's those moments where, hey, I'm popping in some hip hop, but
Mm-hmm.
also, like I said, but there is a balance for me. So I feel you. And so, And with that, that's where we'll conclude, and we hope that you enjoy the conversation.
Absolutely.
And again, if Jill and Moonchild are in your city or near you, please
Please
take the
run,
chance to go and see them.
run,
Do
and
yourself
leave
a
your phone in
service.
the car. Don't even go to the point of bringing it to the venue. Just leave it in the car because you ain't gonna go no back. You ain't gonna even go to your seat with your phone. Leave it in the car. Save that headache. Get it
There you
locked
go.
into this pouch and sit down and actually reflect on what this artist is putting down.
Love it.
Receive those downloads
That's right.
because it
Enjoy the
may be something that
experience.
can actually make you a better person when you step out of there, or either be able to see things in a different light.
Love that. So until then, if you like what we talked about, please
Conversation going.
keep the conversation going, add your comments. You know where you can catch us on YouTube and every other podcast streaming service. So make sure you catch
Absolutely.
us. We're also on TikTok and on Instagram. So
Absolutely.
until then, make sure that you keep your peace
And protect your faith.
and follow us and protect your faith. And with that, I'm Beezy.
And I'm your girl L-Boogie. Peace.